everyone, I'm Mama J. In today's video, we're going to be working on this beautiful Chevron Ripple Pattern blanket. This pattern can be beginner friendly if you have knowledge of how to read patterns. You can create any stripe sequence you like. This is just something that appealed to me. These are some of my favorite colors. This pattern is worked in multiples of 16 plus 2, or if you prefer to do a chain 3 at the beginning of a double crochet row, then you're going to do 16 plus 3. But personally, I like to do a chain 2, and that gives me a straighter edge. I don't see that gap that can sometimes be created when you're doing a chain 3 to begin a double crochet row. So my blanket is approximately 42 by 54 inches, and that is a total of 8 of these little V's. So that calculates out to approximately 5 1/4 inches per set of that V. So each 16 that you're doing in that multiple is going to get you one of these V patterns. So if you want your blanket bigger than 42 wide, then you would add that many sets of 16 to get you more of those V patterns. Again, I've got 8 in my blanket that is 42 inches wide. So that kind of gives you an idea of how to calculate the number of sets of 16 that you need to start with. I did finish this off with just 2 rows. My first row was a single crochet and my second row was a half double crochet, just to polish that off. You don't have to put a border. That was just something I chose to do. All right, so here's the yarn that I used. These 3 are the I Love This Yarn brand. This is about a 5-ounce package. I used a full one plus some. The name of this is Bloom Teak. 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. This one, the name is Glacier. 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is a 7-ounce package, and I used an entire one plus more of a second one. So I used probably 8 or 9 ounces of this Glacier. And this one, the name is Cherry Blossom, 5.5 millimeter hook. And I used not quite a full one of this. So this is a 7-ounce package, so I probably used about 6. This white is Yarn Bee, and it calls for a 6 millimeter, but the weight is pretty similar, so I thought it would work well. And I used about 6 ounces of this one too. I used an entire 5-ounce skein plus about another ounce. And this one is just some gray I had left over from the Hobby brand, and I used probably the same as this one, about 6. All right, and the hooks, really quickly, I did use a 7 millimeter for my foundation chain, and then I finished up with a 6 millimeter for the rest of the blanket. All right, so as we already discussed, this pattern is a multiple of 16 plus 2. And again, if you're going to use a chain 3, just make sure you accommodate that. So you're just going to do 16 plus 3. Your foundation chain is used with A. And this is my pattern. I've gone ABA for rows 1 through 3, and then my repeat starts here. I start with my C color, that's the gray, and then ABA, E, ABA, D, ABA. And then from here to here, that's repeated 3 times in the pattern to get the full length of your blanket. So just keep in mind, if you have added more than 8 sets of 16, if you want more than a 42-inch wide blanket, you're going to need to add extra rows at the end when you're planning out your stripe sequence, because if you add to the width but not the length, you're going to come up with more of a square blanket. All right, I'm not going to read through the entire pattern. It's just a few things I wanted to point out here because we will be going through this in detail. We're going to begin our row 1. Because we've got our foundation chain in color A. Row 1 is going to be in color A. We're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. That's because I'm doing a chain 2 at the beginning of my rows. If you're doing a chain 3, you're going to double crochet in that 4th chain from the hook. Now, a chevron pattern is a series of V's. Okay? Double crochet 2 together twice, and I'm not going to read through that, I'll show that to you in detail, is a decrease, and that's going to get us this little valley at the bottom. The 2 double crochet in each of the next 2 chains, that's an increase. That's going to get us this area here, and it's going to bring that crochet back down. And then again, we've got double crochet 2 together. That's going to be here. And then we're just going to continue to repeat that. So once you've done your first double crochet 2 together, and you've done a double crochet in the next 5 chains, your repeat begins right here, 2 double crochet. That's the top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, until you get down to the last chain of your row, and we're going to do 2 double crochet into that chain. Once we have finished row 1, row 2 is repeated throughout the rest of your pattern, and that is based on your stripe sequence that you have created. And we've gone over mine already. So row 2, I'm going to begin with the color B. Again, I'm chaining 2 at the beginning of the row instead of chain 3. It's up to you what you choose to do. And I'm going to put a stitch marker in the top of that turning chain so it's easier to find when I get to the end of the next row. We double crochet into that first stitch, and that kind of matches where in this last chain from this row we have 2 double crochet. So if my turning chain equals a double crochet, and then I double crochet again into that first stitch, that's my 2 double crochet. And then we're back to the same exact pattern that we did in row 1. So just make a slip knot, leave you a decent little tail that you can work that into the blanket at the end, and hide that and tie it off. So I'm going to do 48 plus 2. All right, so I have my foundation chain of 48 plus 2. So now I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. And I'm going to use that back bump. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And you don't have to use the back bump. That's just what I like to use. So we're going to double crochet. All right, so that basically begins our 2 double crochet into the same stitch as we discussed when we went through the pattern. So I want to put a stitch marker in the top of that turning chain so I know where to end my last stitch. Okay, so now the next in the pattern is to double crochet into the next 5 chains. And again, I'm going to stick with the back bump. There's 3. And I'm just going slower so you can keep track of what I'm doing. So there's 4. And then we need 1 more. And that's 5. So next we're going to do the double crochet 2 together. So now let's go ahead and read through that. We've got a yarn over, insert hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to repeat that into the next stitch, and after we end with our yarn over, pull through 2, we're going to have 3 remaining strands, and we're going to yarn over and pull through those 3 remaining. And again, that is going to give us this little dip right here. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So we're going to do double crochet 2 together twice. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain. We're going to yarn over, draw up a loop. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Excuse me, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And as I mentioned, we'll have 3 strands left. then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So there is our first double crochet 2 together. Now we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's our 3 that are left over. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So you can see here where it's already starting to curve back up from doing those 2 decreases. So now, after we did that, our next is double crochet into the next 5 chains. All right, so we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, and we're going to do that for 5 double crochet. So there's 1, and we're going into the next chain for our second one. Here's 3. And 4. Sorry, that stitch marker is making noise, so I am taking it out. All right, so let's back up. So there's our last decrease with the 2 together. So that's 4 double crochet, and I need 1 more for my set of 5. And again, that is 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. All right, so you can see here we've got a nice little V going on. Okay, so then the next, so that's where we just finished here in the next 5 chains. Now we're going to do 2 double crochet in each of the next 2 chains. That's not a double crochet 2 together, that's 2 individual double crochet into the same chain, and we're going to do that twice. Okay, and that is considered an increase. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, and we're going to do 2 complete double crochet. So there's 1, and here's 2, and again we're going back into that same stitch or the same chain that we did our first double crochet. So insert back into that same chain and do that second double crochet. Now we want to do that one more time. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, do complete double crochet, and 1 more, yarn over and into that same chain, all right, so now you can see we've got the bottom of our V, and this one is, you can see where it's starting to turn back and go back down. So the next step in the pattern is double crochet into the next 5 chains. So you can see the repeat that we're working through here. All right, so 1 double crochet into each of the next 5. We're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, do a double crochet, yarn over into the next one. This is our second one. And our third, yarn over, insert into that next chain, double crochet, insert into the next, do a double crochet, and we should have 1 more left. Yarn over, insert into that next chain. All right, so let's count. So you can see here we've got our 2 increases where we've done 2 double crochet into the same. So then we have our 5 double crochet after. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you can see here we've got our nice ripple pattern taking shape. So after we've done the 2 double crochet into each of the next 2 chains, which created this, we've done our double crochet into the next 5 chains. Now we're going to do another double crochet 2 together twice, and then that's going to get us another bottom part of that V. Okay, so let's talk through that again. We're going to yarn over. We're going to insert into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and just pull through 2. We're going to yarn over, go into the next chain. So again, we're decreasing. I'm going to yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That leaves us 3. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through the remaining 3. And we're going to do that one more time. So that's yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into your next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 3. And there is our second valley. We've got our peaks and our valleys. All right, so just bring this back in. So this is where we just did, and now we're going to double crochet into the next 5 chains, and then we're going to pick back up here, and we're going to repeat these 4 steps until we get to the last chain of the row. Okay, so let's do 5 or double crochet into the next 5 chains. There's 1. And once you get past the foundation row, it's a little bit easier. It's sometimes can be difficult trying to set this foundation row or row 1, getting into that back loop. So we've got 2 double crochet, there's 3, 4, and the 5th one. All right, and based on the pattern taking shape, you know what comes next. We've already done our decrease, which is the 2 double crochet 2 together. So now after our 5 double crochet, we're ready for another increase, which is 2 double crochet into each of the next 2 chains. So yarn over, insert into that next chain, and we're going to do 2 double crochet into that same chain. There's 1 and 2. All right, and so 1 more. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, and do our 2 double crochet. And there's 1, and then our second one. All right, so there's our 2 increase. And now with following the pattern, we've got 5 double crochet to do in those next 5 chains. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more, and 5. All right, so you can see how quickly that starts taking shape. So we've got 1, 2, and then we're going to have a 3rd set of V, because remember I said I was doing 3 sets of 16. So now we're ready for our decrease to bring us back up, and then we'll finish that row off with 2 double crochet into the last chain of this row. All right, so let's do 1 more set of the double crochet 2 together. So that's yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Don't complete the double crochet. We're going into yarn over into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. All right, do that one more time. Yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. All right, so that is the last valley of this row. Now we're going to do 5 double crochet and then 2 into that last chain of the row. Once you start working in those back bumps and you get pretty far down the row, you can see how they automatically turn forward for you. Okay, that's 2, 3, 4. All right, I've got my 5 double crochet and now I'm down to that last chain from my foundation chain, and I'm going to do 2 double crochet into that. All right, so there's our 3 V's. So that's our sets of 16. All right, so to begin the next row, and I'm not going to change colors, I'm just going to keep up with the same color, and we're going to do row 2. And since that is the repeat through the rest of the pattern, then we'll stop the video there because you don't need me to repeat the second row over and over again. We're just going to get through, this is row 1, and then we'll do row 2. All right, so we're going to turn our work, and then we're going to chain 2. Remember to put a stitch marker into the top of that turning chain. Whether you're doing 2 or 3, you still want to mark that so you know where your last stitch of the row is, where you're going to add those 2 double crochet. I'm not going to put a stitch marker in because it is a little noisy clicking on my table here. All right, so those chain 2 equals my first double crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more double crochet into that same stitch right there at the base of that chain. So that will equal 2 double crochet to begin our row 2. And then you can see here, the pattern is really easy to follow once you've got that first row established. You're going to see where you have to start your 2 decrease, and then you'll see here where you do the next 2 increase. Let's go ahead and just take a peek at row 2 just so you can see. So we've got our chain 2, which we did, and then the double crochet into that first stitch. And then you can see this right here picks up as the same as row 1. So that's yarn over, and we're working directly into the top of that stitch from the previous row. So I've got 5 double crochet, there's 1. 2, 3, 4, and here's our 5th double crochet. All right, and then there's our valley. So we know these first 2 stitches right here, that's going to become 1 double crochet because we're doing the 2 together. So you're going to yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then we're going again into that next chain, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the 3. So you can see here where we've got 1 double crochet that is using both of those stitches from the previous row, and that decreases, which tightens that up, which causes that V shape. All right, so we're going to do one more of those. We're going to yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. All right, now we've got 5 double crochet to get us back to the top. All right, so we've got our 2 double crochet together, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet. All right, so now we're going to do 2 double crochet in each of these next 2 stitches from the row before. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and do 2 complete double crochet, and then into our next stitch, yarn over, insert the hook, do 2 complete double crochet. Okay, and now we've got double crochet into those next 5 stitches. 1, all right, now I'm working on my 5th double crochet here. All right, so now we're ready to do our 2 decrease. So there's our next 2 stitches from the previous row. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. All right, so there's 1 decrease. Now we're going to do one more. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through the remaining 3. All right, so we finished our 2 decrease here. Now we're going to pick up with a double crochet into the next 5. And here's our 5th double crochet. We've got our 2 decrease, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to do 2 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. 2 complete double crochet. There's 1, and then we're going back in that same stitch from that other double crochet for our second one. And again into the next stitch, yarn over for a double crochet. All right, there's 1, and yarn over back into that same space where we did the first one. All right, and then that is our increase. We got 2 double crochet in each of these chains. Now we're back to 5 double crochet. There's 1. All right, so there's 5. All right, we're ready for the last 2 decrease of my row. So we'll yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through your remaining 3. I'm going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, continuing on, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through your remaining 3. All right, and then we're going to do 5 double crochet to finish this off, and then 2 double crochet into the top of that turning chain. And then for our last of the 5, all right, now we've just got the top of this turning chain, so yarn over, insert into that chain, and we're going to do 2 double crochet. All right, so you can back this up if you want guidance to continue with this, because again, row 2 is your repeat throughout the rest of your pattern. Row 1 got you started, and then row 2 is your repeat. Okay, I do want to finally mention, as we talked about in the beginning, I did put a 2-row border around this. You don't have to. That's just something that I chose to do. And I did a row of single crochet first, and then I finished it up with a row of a half double crochet. Just very simple border here. All right, so I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope this has inspired you to make your own Chevron Ripple Blanket. All right, so with that, I thank you for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a great day.